So with that, we bring in Nathan Sales, former coordinator for counterterrorism and ambassador at large under President Trump, now a distinguished fellow at the Atlantic Council. Nathan, great to have you with us today. You know, I actually want to start with one point that President Trump made twice today. This morning in a Truth Social post, he said the main thing is no nuclear weapons program. And then again today in this meeting, he said that again. It's all about making sure there's no nuclear weapons program. And yet the MOU that just expired today, which allowed Iran a number of things, I just want to remind everyone, it allowed Iran to sell some oil. It talked about freeing up some of their frozen assets and a $300 billion fund, potentially, if they went, met all these markers, to rebuild the country. And their main obligation in the MOU was to open the strait. So are we seeing a shift back to nuclear weapons programs and away from the strait?
Well, it's a great question, Martha. And I think what you've just laid out in reciting what was in the MOU shows how irresponsible and indeed irrational Iran has been. They got a pretty good deal 2 months ago, and even that was not enough for them. And that just shows that they're not really serious about diplomacy. And we heard this from the president, we heard this from Jared Kushner. They're not prepared to agree to a deal that is remotely acceptable to the United States. Look at what they're asking for. They want control over the strait? No way. They want to charge tolls of commercial shipping? No way. They want the United States to pay reparations and withdraw from the region? Dead on arrival. So I think diplomacy has run its course. The Iranians are not serious about talking about their nuclear program or even the strait, which they've apparently tried to say yes to multiple times since April when we first started talking about a ceasefire. So I think we sort of run out of runway here on the diplomatic front.
Yeah, and we obviously have a U.S. naval blockade. We're turning ships away every day, but the reality is that very few ships are getting through, and it used to be 130 or so a day. So on both sides, the strait is not flowing like it should. This piece in the Wall Street Journal that dropped yesterday, and here's the headline: Iran's secret plan to escalate the war. It says the Iranian nation still has much unfinished business with Trump. This is coming from Mehdi Mohammadi, who is also a member of the negotiating team. He says Iran is prepared for the great confrontation. And the piece goes on to talk about a generational project for blood vengeance for the killing of Khamenei. What do you read in that language, Nathan?
No surprises, Martha. This is what the Iranians always do. They've been doing it for 47 years. They use diplomacy as a fog to conceal their true objectives. And here, they're preparing for a long war against the United States, but not just us, against our partners in the region, the Gulf states, Israel, and others that are aligned with the United States. So we have to go through the diplomatic dance and have conversations with them, but we got to do that with our eyes wide open. The Iranians are our enemy. They're not serious about becoming a normal nation. They've been given every opportunity to do so under this regime, and they keep saying no. Now, that doesn't mean we immediately go back to war with these guys. We can use, as you said, maximum economic pressure to weaken their economy and put them in a much weaker position to be able to sustain their security services, to be able to sustain the revolution that's really brutalized their own people for the past half century.
You know, you talk about capitulation and breaking the will of the enemy, and that is what is at stake here, figuring out how to do that. And you listen to Mahmoud Pezeshkian, who's the president, doesn't seem to have, is clearly sending signals to these negotiators that he sees the people suffering in Iran. He sees that they can barely buy groceries, that they're cutting their hair and selling it online. And he seems to have some empathy for the people of Iran. But that's not what we're hearing from the IRGC. And I also thought it was interesting in this Wall Street Journal piece, twice they mentioned Mujtaba Khamenei as giving the signals. And we've been unclear whether or not he's even capable of giving signals. But that reporting says he is. Thoughts on all that?
Yeah, on who's the supreme leader and who's speaking for him, this kind of seems like a Weekend at Bernie's type situation. Nobody's seen this guy in public. We've seen cardboard cutouts, literally cardboard cutouts. So nobody's sure what role he's playing. But it is clear that the hardliners in the IRGC are calling the shots. And as you've said, Martha, they don't care about the long-suffering people of Iran. They care about maintaining their grip on power and exporting terror around the region. So I don't think we should expect any kind of behavioral change from the Iranians anytime soon. We have to accept the reality of the world as it is. Iran's an implacable foe. They're going to stay that way, so let's act accordingly.
Just very quickly, if you can, General Keane said this morning that I suspect the president will come down very, very strong on them once and for all. Do you agree that that is what should happen? And do you think that's where the president's headed?
It's really hard to say. That's one of the options. Economic pressure is one. The other option, if Iran is really biding their time and mustering their strength for a major campaign against us, maybe we go in preemptively and hit them first to deny them the ability to threaten our soldiers and our diplomats and our friends. Time will tell.
Complex situation, to be sure. Nathan Sales, thanks for helping us sort through it a bit today. Good to see you as always.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.